Hey guys, so today we are going to be going over how to air layer your plants. I have this PPP currently. She's been thriving. She even has a new leaf going on right now. The only thing that is happening is I bought this cute little, it's like a little mini moss pole, but she is not attaching to it because these little holes are too thick, so she can't get to the moss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking some Ziploc bags and I am going to be air layering. Air layering is just you putting moss on the stem while it just holds on by a Ziploc bag. That's normally what people do. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Currently, I'm just going to take off gently. Like I said, she is getting a new leaf, or she's popping out with a new leaf. So I'm just going to kind of leave her be. Take out this, and she did just get watered a couple days ago. Take off this beautiful moss pole, and I am going to start. So I'm going to turn her around just so I can see what's going on here. I'm going to take her out so you can see as well. If you can tell right here, she currently has a lot of little nodes, or a lot little aerial roots that are going on right now. And I just want to make sure those can grow. So I am first going to take my sphagnum moss. I'm going to open that up. This gets really messy really fast, so I gotta be careful. I don't think I'm going to need that much, so I'm just going to put about that much in there. Close it back up. And this is just a bowl of water. So I'm just going to let this soak because this does like to, this is a big clump of moss. This does like to expand. So I'm just going to leave it in the water for a little bit. And as we're doing that, I should have brought a towel. Of course I didn't. Now I'm going to take my bag. I'm going to move her for a second just so you can see what's going on. Taking my bag here, and I am going to open it. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up first, and then I'll cut it to see how much I'm going to need. So now my moss is drenched in water. So now I'm going to squeeze. And this is, doing this is just going to allow the plant to keep growing how it's growing, while also allowing the roots to grow. So if you wanted to chop it at any point of time, you could, and it would still grow fine. And this is also going to help with making the plant a lot bigger. So I'm going to currently, so this seems fine to me. I do think it just needs to be a little bit more wet, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay some water in there. I think I drenched too much of it out, so that should be perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to close this for a second. And this is how I'm going to be able to tell. I'm going to kind of squish this a little bit because you have to kind of measure with how tall your plant is. So my plant, I'm just going to go next to it. I'm going to want to, a big stick in there. I'm going to want to bunch this up a little bit more. Okay, and then cut. You will definitely see what I'm talking about in a little bit, and I'm going to need some zip ties, which I'll show you in a second why. So this would obviously work better with smaller zip ties. You can use either these massive industrial ones, or we can use plant tape, which I'm probably going to resort to plant tape. 1 second. Like this. So I'm gonna kind of open it up a little bit just so I can kind of pre-do it. But you see you have your moss. This is gonna have to get wet every now and then, so make sure you take advantage of that. So I am going to, I actually think I'm going to cut this in half even more because I don't have a lot of space up there. Could have just better if I just took that out, but I didn't. Of course not. Always got to do the hard way out. Okay. So now I'm just going to make sure I'm covering those roots, or those aerial roots that are just be careful, because you know these PPPs are a little sensitive. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it around, and this is just going to allow it to stay in place. So I used way too much, but it's okay. And I'm also going to wrap one at the bottom so I can kind of seal the bottom. It's going to look crazy for a little bit, but honestly, this is the best way if you don't want to put your, or you don't have the means to put your plant on a moss pole at this point in time. This is actually a really good way to do it. Okay. She looks crazy, I know, but this is a really good way to do it. As this little moss pole is really awesome, but it's just not good enough if your aerial roots or your roots that are growing are not long. This is better if yours are long. Mine are not long, so this isn't working very well. For this, I'm going to be able to water through the top, and it can fall down to the bottom. But she kind of looks like she's broken at the moment. But that's just until we get some aerial roots growing, and that'll definitely help with leaf size. Because this one, as you can see, it's still kind of hardening, but it didn't get very big. It has great variegation, but it didn't get very big. This one's probably the biggest, and I want them to keep growing before I put it on a moss pole. So I'm just gonna do this, and I will give you guys an update.